Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Call of Cthulhu blind playthrough and we are still at the Institute. These guards are driving me right around the bend. But we have gotten to a checkpoint, so we're gonna try to find the cords coming out from this giant machine. I assume that's the next part of this puzzle. Now where the hell am I? Right. Here we are, in this room with the corpses, and we were gonna follow the electric cord out of here, this red wire, and hopefully that can get us out of this asylum. So let's sneak out into this corridor, see what we can do. So it heads over here to the right. That guard is still going over to... It's probably still with the inmate that I gave the sleeping pills. And I know there was a guard over here somewhere. So I'm gonna try not to run straight into his arms. And there he is, of course. Let's see if we can swing around this row of cells and find the cord that way. Here we have it. The red wire. Let's follow it. Here we have the library that we were in earlier. Ah! It goes to that. So do I have to go in here and crank up this probably?
Theoretically, I've only got one lever to push.
Shit. Of course I get spotted. Why wouldn't I get spotted? Wasn't there a cupboard or something in here where I could hide? Think he lost track of me? Hope he did. Still exploring. Hopefully he will piss off. Are you gonna piss off? I did notice that I got a game save just after he spotted me. So maybe I could just like reset the checkpoint. But he lost track of me. We were quick on our feet, so we got out of there. And this is cranked up, and hopefully this machine will work now.
I can still increase the load.
But of course. So, I'm guessing it's the green cord. So where does that come from? We have a green cord over here. Ah. That is something I didn't realize at the start of this mission. This would probably have gone a lot faster if I had been just a little bit smarter. So, let's see. The green cord goes around that way. So we're gonna sneak past these guards. And into this room.
Let's calm down, please. Pain is just information, dear Francis. Invaluable information for my research.
All
So,
the levers are activated.
Kill me! What? If you don't kill me... Dear friend, I fear your mind is lost forever.
what's in this vent? If this is another path out of this place, I'm gonna be slightly annoyed. Because then I have spent far too much time.
The green gas leaves from here and it runs through the whole building.
Okay. We have pincers.
This lever must turn on the gas machine.
So what happens if we
There's
crank it
nothing
up?
happening. Now for the next step.
Okay. There seems to be multiple ways through every part of this. And I'm not quite sure if
This valve controls the pressure.
if I'm just going up wrong path now, or another way to get out of this place. Or if this is kind of the next step. Dr. Fuller, I repaired your machine as best I can. However, the piping has been damaged and I fear that gas is escaping. I cannot do any more in such a short time. All I can do is to warn you. If the equipment is put under too much pressure, there is a risk of explosion, said Alan Mechanic. Well, thank you, said Alan. Let's see if we can crank this shit up to 11. Because 11 is louder than 10. Okay, we got a checkpoint, so I must be doing something right. So, if we try now to crank it up, what happens?
The piping hasn't burst. Not yet, anyway.
But we got a checkpoint. And he says not yet anyway, so hopefully we've done all the steps to make it go fluey. So let's see if we can open this little padlock.
This padlock is too complicated.
Asshole. So, let's see, where the hell am I now? We are still in the lobby, I think. Yes. So that might be another way to make this place go up. But we were on the path of trying this machine. So now all the valves have been cranked up, and let's see what happens if we put it on.
That should draw the attention of the guards. I should hide.
Damn it! What's going on?
Okay, where the hell do I hide?
Fuller know. You can bet he'll blame us.
So can we just piss off? It did see me, but maybe they are too far away for them to find me. This guy doesn't seem too healthy.
Doctor, is that
Oh,
you?
this is the guy that gouged out his
Don't
eyes.
you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to
Poor
keep busy with
bastard.
this precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Yeah.
Wait. Get away where? I can't.
What will
go
find you?
anywhere.
Is it a
It'll
Cthulhu
find
monster?
me like it found me here. You're mistaken about the
Probably
beast.
is.
Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
You need treatment. I don't abandon the wounded. What did they do? What did
You're
they do to
Sanders,
you?
aren't you? I heard you from my cell. What did they do to you? What does Fuller want with you?
The doctor? You think it's the doctor who scares me? The doctor wants to heal me. But he's the one who's crazy. He wants to restore my sight. He wants to give me back my eyes. Yet
And
I
still
can't
in
bear to look at it.
2018, I don't
I do
think
not want to see it anymore. The real
don't think they
culprit
can
is
do
Sarah.
that actually.
Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me. You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
Yes, he is. This story just gets weirder and weirder. Like a
Legendary.
story like this should.
There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things.
I hate
that's
it when
what
it's
makes you
like
say
those
she's
timed
cursed.
things.
Wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation.
Okay.
But she failed. that's what counts.
What's
Because it
going
always
on?
stresses you when you have to pick a choice really quickly.
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you.
This guy is so dramatic.
Or you won't be able to
I
escape
love it.
Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What
Do not
finds
look
me?
at Destiny.
The
Okay,
Sarah Hawkins
check.
visitor. The Chandler.
Sanders,
What?
pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me.
The aficionado of horror. Still popping trophies in this game. I really like it. After I'm done with this blind playthrough, I'm gonna check out... Awesome. I'm gonna check out if this is a hard platinum
What
to get.
Hell!
There'll probably be a trophy guide out by then, so I'm gonna see if I can't platinum this game, because that would be really
got it.
fun. And okay, shit just got weird.
This
So
is insane.
Sanders is
What
no more.
killed him?
See if there is anything good in here. Doesn't seem like it, because the spot hidden icon is not lit. So I guess there is nothing good to pick up in here. But hopefully there might be something that is not does not count as hidden. But it doesn't seem that way. So what should we do? Let's check at the top of the stairs, see if we can get out this way. Maybe we should turn off our lighter as well, because we may have the pipes bursting soon. Exactly on cue. And this door is locked. Maybe I shouldn't fucked about with the pipes. May have trolled myself, people, dear viewers. But could this be an exit?
Damn! The gas! Oh. My head.
Officer
Later.
Bradley.
We need to move on.
Somehow I feel that that is probably not Officer Bradley. Chapter 6, Hawkins Mansion. Pierce woke up in an asylum installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him to escape, wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigns supreme. Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders before dying in full view of the detective. He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in the misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. Alright. And the first thing we see is tentacles. Very reassuring. Ooh, that eye reminds me actually a little bit of the Soul Reaver
goes there?
games, the Wheel of Fate.
That
His
nightmare
eye
again.
looked a bit like an hourglass, but it reminds me a little bit of that. But either way, we are back in the mansion, and it's broad daylight. In a horror game? I do say. How absurd. But it's quite a pleasant change
No.
from all the darkness.
I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Look, it looks so harmless when the sun is shining in on it. That's why all horror games always take place in the middle of the dead fucking night.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce.
Scare your ass
How
off.
do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only
Someone said
starting.
something about a
It's fine.
drink. I would love a drink. But not right now. Let's talk
How's
to
our
Officer
fugitive?
Bradley.
Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would?
How did I even end
Mr.
up
Pierce,
in that
are you all right?
asylum?
You look like you saw a ghost.
Because last thing that happened was that we
There
were
are
in
things
more or less a
I can't
landslide.
explain.
Tell us.
Bunch of rocks
What
came tumbling
happened?
down and we ended up in the asylum. Talk to Colin. Okay, let's wing it. I cannot pick that one because... Okay. What they had me endure. Sure.
I have flashbacks.
Because we ended up in that asylum
did
in a
they do
very
to you?
weird way.
There was that.
Because we ended up
Fuller
underneath a
and a
lot of
nurse.
rocks and suddenly we were in an asylum and
everywhere.
suddenly we are back here.
Pain.
I think there are a
couldn't
few
bear it. I
gaps in
was
this
screaming.
story.
They injected
Don't know
me
if it's supposed to be like that,
I
just
woke
to
up
make
at
it
the
more
institute.
nightmare-esque
Bradley was there.
or
And
nightmarish,
how you scared us.
but
You seemed
seems like just
demented.
odd
You
solutions.
likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
They
What
would make
happened
me run
afterwards?
around for sleeping
When I woke up
pills.
the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside.
Yeah, and it wasn't pretty, man.
Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific
Yes,
medical
we found the
experiments.
wheels for it.
impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan.
Wouldn't he?
What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been
You'd
trying
be
to prove.
surprised what psychiatrists
discover
were prepared to
anything
do back in the olden days. Just to see
am
what
at
would
a
happen.
Francis Sanders.
More or
You
less.
know him.
Of course, he's a patient.
So at some point they thought that sanity
I haven't seen him
lived
since
in the
Dr. Fuller had
teeth
him
of
transferred to the
people, so they would
basement.
pull out people's teeth until they
You
started
Sarah
behaving.
Hawkins. And, that's
And I
what
don't know
killed him.
about you, but if someone was pulling my
What?
teeth without
How did he
anesthesia,
die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
no matter
Tell
what
me how Mr.
weird
Sanders
things
died.
I would be seeing, I would still be
See what
like, no, everything's cool. I'm sane.
something was there.
It was in one of the molars,
Of
I
what do
promise.
you speak?
I will
Sanders
just
said
fuck off and
Sarah
bleed and
Hawkins
cry in a corner.
visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins.
Why did it have to call it a
Did I
shambler?
miss something
Shambler
here?
just makes me
This
feel
makes
like
no sense.
she got visited
don't
by a
see how we can
shotgun
help
from the
crack the
Metro
Hawkins case.
universe.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector.
Was a
I guess he can
well-known
still
art
pay a visit to
collector.
his wife, Irene Sanders.
Sounds a bit like
An art
some
collector,
kind
you
of
say?
mafia
That's probably how they
parody.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household,
What's going
please
on with their
spare
hands?
the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
No, we don't. Better to confront the truth. Let's stay prudent. It's better to
He's
confront
right.
the truth.
We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
This will affect
Better
your
madness
destiny.
than ignorance.
But of course it will.
Very well. I'll go
But
to
I
see
believe in
Francis's
always
widow.
being honest.
Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Because it's always better
Don't
to
end
be
up in
honest
the
with people.
hospital this
Be
time.
truthful. Don't wrap
do my
yourself
best.
in lies.
Let us go now.
Even
and
little
learn the
white
truth
lies
about
can
what's happening on
sooner
this
or later
island.
swing around and bite you in the ass. So, I always try
The
to
other
be
night's
truthful
events are
when I
still
talk to
confused
people.
in my head.
Sometimes you may come up with a little white lie. That's okay, but don't get nestled in big ones. And also, my memory is quite good. Freakishly good at sometimes. But I don't want to try to remember lots of made up stories. Either way, Sanders' residents, Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decide to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. Yes, the shambler, the weird visitor. Or in some cases, a shotgun. Probably not in this game. Probably something a lot weirder than a homemade weapon. Enter madness. And of course it's nighttime again.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
Gotta love those animations.
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
I wonder what outcome we will get
You know
from
each
this.
Our paths crossed.
Probably
Briefly.
everything will be
The
completely
brave
fucked.
detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
But it's
bump
interesting
into
with these
her
games
every
with
time I'm
multiple
investigating
endings where you
someone's
have to
death.
do some choices
It's a
that
small island, detective.
will push you towards one
My
of the
island.
endings. I remember playing
It's
Dying
better that
Light,
it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating friends
and
death.
a few other people that I
Why?
knew, co-workers
hired
of
you?
mine, played it
I
as
spoke
well,
to
and
Francis before he died.
we made it
His story
not exactly
suggests
into a
a
little
link to
game,
a
but
case I'm working on.
I
Well,
was the last
since
one to
this
finish the
business has
game,
got
actually,
nothing to do with me,
which is quite
I'll be
weird
in
since
your
I'm
husband's office, Irene.
the most,
We'll carry on later.
Very well,
for lack of a
Frank.
better word, most hardcore gamer out of us.
This way, Mr.
and
Pierce.
I
And do make yourself
actually was the
comfortable.
one that got the
It would
most
seem that you
survivors.
have much to tell me.
I got everyone out of there except for 2. I think there are 8 in all, so I had 6 survivors. And that had
May I
nothing to do
inquire
with
as to
skill. Yeah,
when
that was just
you had
pure
the
fucking luck
opportunity to talk to my husband?
on my
Yesterday.
behalf.
I met him at the hospital.
And
He
it's
spoke to
always
me
like
about
that with
Sarah
this
Hawkins.
kind of games
Oh,
that you
of
have
course
no
he spoke to you
idea
about
if your
her.
choice, what
That's all he
ripples
talked
on the
about.
water your choices
Sarah
will lead
Hawkins
to.
and her paintings.
Because you can do
Please
something
forgive my
that
tone.
will seem like a good
The fact
thing,
is
and
I have
that
not
will
been
bite you in the
allowed
ass
to see
5
him
hours
since he
later
was
than
interned.
when you have already
You, on
forgotten
the
about
other hand, a perfect
you making
stranger.
that choice.
We're able to see him and even
So
talk
it's a
with
bit
him the day he
unfair
died.
actually with these
How
games
was he?
because you can't
Were you present when he had this
probably
attack?
the best ending the first time,
What happened?
other by through dumb luck. You must not. I want to choose he died screaming right before my eyes. Ah, for fuck's sake, let's do
He
it.
started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse.
That's the
and
calmest
twist with
reaction
pain, or terror.
I've
It's hard
ever
to tell.
seen.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous.
The hand
need to
animations in this game
understand.
are really atrocious. I need to
How could
address
this
this.
happen?
Look
in
at
a
her hands.
reputed
Look at her
institute?
dress. It's like
And
twitching.
right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
I share your grief. Hold to test eloquence. Yes, let's test.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it.
And she's
I
not
was
buying
injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you.
it. Does
Oh,
that mean that
die,
she
Mr.
bought
Pierce.
it, or
I would be
there
grateful if
would
you could
be
tell me what
great
you
to have
expect of me,
some
and then
kind
leave.
of listen, to know if it works or not. Did he speak to you of a shambler? Yes.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? Shambler.
Some
to use his
indication whether
precise
she
terms.
bought it or not, like
Well,
you
you
failed
can't
your
imagine
eloquence
that's
test
all
or
we talked about.
something.
It's exhibited at the center of the gallery.
Like in
No better place
Fallout,
for the painting that endowed him
whenever
with
you
the
had
privilege of such a
one of
shameful
those
and miserable end to his
eloquence
life.
tests,
Hold on.
it stood,
Shambler is
you
a
saw the
painting
percentage of
by
it,
Sarah
you
Hawkins.
making it,
Who
and that
else
was
to paint
such a fucking
horrors?
lie, because I remember one
Take a look
time
for
I had
yourself.
like
if you feel so
8% chance
inclined.
It is my
of
only
getting
lead
it,
at this stage.
and I got it, and another
suppose I
time
have
I
nothing to lose.
failed when it was
Then
at
you have
like
paid
80,
no heed.
85%.
For my part, I refuse to set foot in
So it
that
still
gallery
comes
again.
down to a
But if you're
dice
so
roll.
eager to see it,
Thank you.
There is
Mrs.
like
Sanders.
an internal
I won't
dice
be
in the
long.
system that just rolls, and unless you get a 6, you're fucked. But maybe if you have a lower score, you have to roll 2 dices. But whatever.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
But the point I was getting to before I started ranting on, oh, we can do a reconstruction, was that they could have some kind of indication of like, yeah, you failed, asswipe. But let's see, we're in an
Francis Sanders
reconstruction.
and Sarah Hawkins were close.
They
Friends.
were
even?
friends. Or were they lovers? Who knows? Were they drinking tea or coffee? I could really go for some coffee,
A
actually.
house of artists. A house of artists.
Not much of a tea drinker. I do enjoy the occasional cup of tea, but I
Sanders'
prefer
accession
coffee any
register.
day.
He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Examine the Shambler. Okay. So they were sitting there having tea. I cannot go into this room. So what else is there to do? I think actually when I'm done recording
House of artists.
this blind playthrough, I'm gonna replay the game because I feel it is a little bit hard for me to try to keep up with the story since I am recording, I am narrating, and I'm trying to keep track of how long these episodes are at the same time so I don't
He finally
sit
won.
here ranting on
Was
for
Sanders
40,
aware
50
of his
minutes.
imminent doom?
So there is a lot of things to think about when I'm doing this, but I'm really enjoying it. It's an interesting way to approach a video game, and I'm having fun. Okay, so here we have Cat, and
Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
probably.
She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Okay. So let's check out this painting. What? Another awesome. Cool.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
We need to see the Shambler. But of course we do.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I send my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. Dispose of his body as I see fit. That is not very uplifting. Can we play this?
Is this dagger part
All right.
of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Art and Mysticism. Forgotten Object is a collection written by Francis Sanders. In it, he catalogs and categorizes objects from all ages and origins that are linked to occult or mystical practices. It is opened at the page of a dagger that bears a symbol that is not unknown to me. That looks a lot like the dagger we picked up down in the caves. And we have progressed a bit in occultism, and we have quite a few character points. Let's put some of them out. Psychology, sure. Eloquence. Let's put some more in investigation. Let's be bulky. And we'll put another one in psychology, because why not? And I'm gonna remember to press options this time. Do you really want to validate this character point's attribution? Yes, I do. And that is just about time to end this episode. So I'm gonna leave it right there for now. We're gonna check out the Chambler in the next video. So I wanna thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.